All right, what we've got here is a tale of two tanks. Now, the tank on my right, your left, is the tank that was in the car. Now, when I did this a couple of years back, I bought the cheaper tank that National Parts Depot offers. It works just fine. There are no problems with it. It's got all the correct bends in all the correct places. The tank functions just like it's supposed to, but the problem with this tank is not a problem, except if you are trying to let your car sit up like I did. I caused the problem. And when they sit up and they're a painted tank, they can tend to rust, especially if they sit in a damp environment. Like if you live in Florida, even in your garage at the house, it can be kind of damp in there, and the tank can tend to rust a little bit. And especially with the alcohol in the fuels that we run now, unless you can find non-ethanol premium, good luck with that little bit right there. This tank can be more of a problem. Now, the one that's on my left, your right, is the Spectra Premium that we got from National Parts Depot. Also, this is the new tank that I got to put in the 672 Mach 1 in lieu of trying to clean this tank out. I will say that you can clean them out, but it is a lot of work. We did it on Jackson's 1966 Falcon tank because we didn't want to have to try to spend the money to replace it. We got a tank from a buddy of ours that was in decent enough shape, so we were going to use that, but it was a lot of work to clean that tank out. I don't want to spend that kind of time. I would rather just go ahead and spend the money and also get a better tank, because I realized after doing this that the Spectra Premium is a little bit better tank, well, a lot better tank in a lot of respects. For one thing, it has a coating on it called a nitrile coating on both the inside and the outside to prevent rust. Originally, I believe these tanks were galvanized. I'm not sure about that, but you can no longer get galvanizing. Galvanizing is pretty much done because it is a toxin and it's polluting our world. Yes, I'm doing the air quotes, but it probably isn't a very good thing to be putting out there in the world. I'm not sure if the nitrile is any better, but it's what we've gone to now in order to put a coating on these tanks to make them a little bit better for rust prevention, and also with the chemicals and stuff that are in the modern fuels, the additives, along with the 10% maximum of 10% alcohol in the gases that are out there now, if you're planning on running ethanol fuels. So that's basically the bottom line. I prefer spending just a little bit more money. I don't say a little bit more money. It's about $100 more for the Spectra Premium tank, but I would rather spend the extra $100 to get a tank that's going to stay looking nice and not lose its color like this one did. This one has kind of gotten a little gray and not as nice looking, the one on my right, your left. So that being said, here you go. I'm going with the Spectra Premium from National Parts Depot. This is the other tank that they offer that is not Spectra Premium. It's a less expensive tank by about $100. But like I said, my cars tend to sit, and I'm not going to go into all that in this, but that's what you get when you set a tank around. You can get rust inside of it because this tank is not as nice for that as this tank. Alrighty. It's always something. Gotta unplug it. Ruh-roh. Noisy. That is what the entire undercarriage on this car looked like right after I got it done. Well, welcome to ethanol gas. This mush is sediment from inside the tank. It needs to be cleaned off to prevent plugging the fuel sock. If you don't clean it off, you'll probably have fuel starvation issues. Yes, I know, inappropriate use of a tool. These are my old ones. I don't use these for anything anymore, and they're really good. An old nut driver like this is really good for getting in here and putting these clamps back in. Now, for the sender. Using a little lithium on this just because. Just makes things slide around a little bit easier if you can coat it with some kind of grease. Lithium just happened to be sitting here in Studio B. Remember, always test your sender before final install. Check out the link below and in the description to go to where you can see exactly how to do the test outs on this stuff. There we go. There's tabs on here that you need to get past the locking ring on it, and that way this thing will stay put. It won't walk out on you. You need to run it all the way to the lift tabs. Hot. I didn't turn the air conditioner on. Didn't think I was going to need it. Honestly, didn't think I was going to be working this hard. All right, fresh tank, going to go back in. Ooh. Runting into everything. Okay. Much easier with a lift, I will say that. Problem I'm having is the exhaust tips are in the way. Try to go in this way, if that makes any difference. And the exhaust hanger on the passenger side is now in the way. Panic. Widespread panic. I should have thought this out a little bit better, because I need to have a jack underneath this thing. Needs to. Studs aren't long enough. So I got to ask you, is it really cheating if I've paid money for a tool to use it when I can? If you have a transmission jack, pretty good for putting gas tanks in so far. We'll see how it keeps going. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's that close. But it won't go all the way up. Let's do this. Pull it down a little bit. Need to get some blocks. This all looks so simple about 2 hours ago. It hasn't been 2 hours. Spin this around too. jamming up the works. First, and put this on. A lot handier if I had two people in here doing this. Want it to be able to hold it right there, so I can make sure I'm not colliding with anything else. There we go. It's still not tall enough. All right, real quickly, you're going to need a 3.5-inch carriage bolt for this. This carriage bolt's the one you're going to want to have. You can get these down at the home improvement centers. I got these at Tractor Supply. And they're still a bugbear to get in there because the aftermarket straps that I've put in here, I put in for a test fit for National Parts Depot. They're a little shorter than the carriage bolts that I got from the guys at AMK. This is a 9/16 fastener. These are 3/8 16, I believe, thread pitch on this. And then suddenly now they're long enough. And the immortal words of Dad's everywhere. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, just got to hook the fuel line back up, then I've got to rebuild the carburetor. You guys have a great week. Be kind to each other, love on each other, treat each other nice. See ya!